With spring on the way, people will soon be busy with home improvements, but there are home improvement mistakes that could cost you thousands if the city finds out. News 13's Lizzie Mitri explains on Special Assignment.
From PBS.
Crew's been working for months on another jam-packed season.
To HGTV.
Don't mind me.
And the DIY network.
Okay, fire it up.
Handy homeowners have the tools to try to do just about anything on their own these days.
It's expensive to hire somebody when you can do it yourself.
But there's a part of the process those home improvement shows tend to gloss over.
You don't see where they come down to the city to get a permit and get their design approved.
Lots of people learn about that the hard way.
I did that with my decking. I started my decking. I didn't build it to code, and that was a mistake because I'm new to the area.
Joseph Reyes lives in Rio Rancho and was surprised to find even something like building a deck required a permit.
You know, it just didn't make any sense, but you got to do what they tell you to do, especially if you have an enforcer, a code enforcer telling you you got to do it or you're going to go to court.
Edna Diaz of Albuquerque says she's had a similar issue.
Oh my God, I was pissed.
She says it's been a hassle going back and forth with the city to ensure her carport is up to code.
It's like, really? You buy in the property and you have to get permits for everything you do?
It all comes down to one thing.
We're looking to keep the people safe. We have high winds here. Block wall blowing over can kill people.
Land Clark is the chief building official for the city of Albuquerque.
There is a lot of confusion about what needs a permit and what doesn't.
And he says not getting one when you should will catch up to you sooner or later.
That's what we run into a lot. Somebody's trying to sell their home and they're now trying to scramble to get permits and inspections, and sometimes it is a huge investment.
Permits for walls can run in the hundreds, patios in the thousands. And if you're caught doing construction without a permit, the city charges you double. Not to mention whatever it costs if the work needs to be redone to meet city standards. To catch shoddy jobs, the city relies on neighbors to tip off its complaints investigator so he can check out the construction in question, notify the residents, and document the new addition to the home. It often involves smaller projects that homeowners may not realize call for permits and inspections, like building and raising walls in your yard, patios, and decks.
The city's building safety division says it collected nearly $1.8 million in permit fees for those kinds of projects last year. But it also caught 400 people for violations, doing work without a permit.
It's probably far worse.
Licensed contractor Tom Wright is retired now after decades of home building.
Most neighbors don't call. Most of the time they don't know. They don't pay attention.
He says the field is constantly adapting to determine the best way to build something to withstand the elements like heavy rain, high winds, and snow. And even hiring an unlicensed contractor or handyman at a lower cost comes with higher risks.
If he is cheating the state, cheating the city, and cheating his employees, why would you think he's not cheating you?
Between handling thousands of permit applications,
The structure is pretty sound,
and checking for damage after disasters like fires,
which is concrete.
city inspectors can only do so much with the help of neighbor tips. So the Building Safety Division hopes to work with city employees in other departments as they're out and about in Albuquerque to cut down on the cases of bad building going unnoticed. On Special Assignment, Lizzie Mitri, KRQE News 13.
To learn more about which home improvement projects need a permit and what they cost, go to always on KRQE.com.